Wow. Just wow. If you don't know, today is May 1st. And on May 1st, 1999, the first ever episode of a TV show called Spongebob SquarePants aired on Nickelodeon. Yes, it's been that long. Now, I am a huge fan of SpongeBob. If you were to ask me the question, what's my favorite cartoon of all time? Well, some people might say Batman the Animated Series. Others might say, maybe Avatar, not the one by James Cameron, or maybe the Powerpuff Girls, or maybe even Hey Arnold. Mine is SpongeBob SquarePants. It'll probably always be SpongeBob SquarePants. The first episode I ever watched, I can still remember, was Home Sweet Pineapple back in season 1. And oh boy, has that show changed. I've been watching this show since I was about 4, back in 2008. I've been a fan for this long, nearly 11 years of my life. This show came out 5 years before I was born. I was born in 2004. Oh, but yeah, I have loads of memories of this show. I'm really sad that creator Steven Hillenburg couldn't witness his own cartoon turn 20. He sadly passed away of ALS last year. But I will say, he made an amazing cartoon. And I just gotta say, I love this cartoon. You know, there are so many things I remember doing as a kid. I remember when I was 8, it was 7, I had a SpongeBob birthday cake. I lived in an apartment at that time, and, I had this, Krabby Patty birthday cake, like this, basically. Oh, I made this drawing. It probably looks cool. Oh, my first ever SpongeBob video game, I have a huge collection of that. I might make me a separate video on that. But the first video game of SpongeBob I've ever played was Atlantis SquarePants on the DS. I got this thing back when I was 6, I think, back in 2010. And I will say, this video game, I think it's pretty good. Not the best one, it's not Battle for Bikini Bottom, but it's pretty good. Pretty high on the SpongeBob video game standards. But yeah, I love the characters of SpongeBob. I like SpongeBob just because he's a really happy and hypergenic character. And I could really relate to the guy, sometimes you really want to express their creativity. Patrick, he's always been one of my favorites just because of how funny he can be, even though he's kind of an idiot. I always liked Mr. Krabs, mainly because he's kind of like the real-world equivalent of a bank. Just always wanting money from you, and money, money, money. I always liked Gary, just because, he's basically the equivalent of Cat. And I like this show mainly because, it's like our world, but in the form of a fish. Worms are basically dogs, and cats are basically snails, and basically sickly jellyfish are like bees when you think about it. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think they're bees. Yeah. I like Sandy just because he's from Texas. I actually went to Texas once, but it was only when I was 1 year old, and we were evacuating from Katrina. It was near my family, but it missed. Thank gosh. I love Plankton just because how tiny he is. Plankton is microscopic in real life. Actually, I learned that. I love Squidward just because he's this grumpy neighbor, and he just has a talent, but nobody really appreciates it. But yeah, 20 years. I just want to say thanks, SpongeBob. You've helped me through a lot, and thanks to you, I've had an amazing childhood watching you on Nickelodeon. And here's to 20 more years of SpongeBob SquarePants. Gosh. And thank you to Hillenburg. You did an amazing job creating this character. Happy birthday.